Hello friends, followers and channel members, welcome back to the channel. So Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is a week old. Yes, following the initial rather car crash of a launch, we now have a simulator which more and more people are reporting to be stable, looking glorious, really working well for them, and so I thought it was only fair that we give it a fair shout and review following a week after everything has settled down. I'm now getting dozens of messages from people telling me that after an initial rubbish start and disappointment, they're now starting to see just what Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 can offer them. So I wanted to take stock and have a look at all of the plus points that we've got, and not tell you which particular sim I think is better, 20 or 24, that is for you to make up your own choice, but basically just see what is now working that wasn't initially and is now starting to find favour with most of you out there. Now, of course, the first big improvement is the scenery. I see a lot of people saying that they think Flight Sim 2020 scenery is better than 2024. Again, absolutely nothing wrong with that opinion. Personally, for me, I can't agree with that. I do think 2024 does look better, lots more detail, but I do agree that streaming is still an issue. If you don't have a really strong internet connection, it can lead to blurry textures. We don't yet have the option of being able to download certain things onto our PC. Hopefully that will come soon. When it does, I do think we're going to see vast improvements. So for me, I do think Flight Sim 2024, when it is working correctly, has much better scenery the whole world over. A few people commented on my last video as well that Flight Sim 2024 doesn't appear to have seasons included. Well, it does, but I must say I don't think they go far enough. Yes, you can obviously see lots of green foliage in the summertime, but when it comes to winter, I do feel like it needs to be a lot more brown in terms of the foliage. Yes, the fields might be green, particularly here in the UK where we get lots of rain at that time of year, but I'm sure you'll agree something doesn't sit quite right, and I think the default seasons do need to be improved upon, and AccuSeasons in Flight Sim 2020 does indeed do a better job at the moment. Scenery, of course, though, is only one small aspect of a flight simulator, because essentially where do we spend most of our time? Of course, in the sky. So what about the weather? Well, here once again I do think Flight Sim 2024 has got the weather much better represented than its 2020 counterpart. I also think the clouds look so much better as well. The skies, sunsets, sunrises, they don't look quite as vibrant. They look a little bit more realistic than 2020. Of course, 2020 we do have the option of using Rex Atmos. At the moment we can't use that in Flight Sim 2024, however that add-on will soon be coming. But I think as it stands, the clouds, the sky textures, they look really nice in 2024, so once again I'm going for the win with Flight Sim 2024 when it comes to sky, clouds and overall weather. And that's not just how it looks, of course, but also how it interacts with the aircraft itself. There is one huge disappointment though in Flight Sim 2024, and that is the lack of a realistic working weather radar, either in the default aircraft or any add-on aircraft, because the data is just not available or being provided. This is the massive letdown for me personally, because it was one of the few things missing from Flight Simulator 2020 which I thought would be addressed in this new sim. Sadly, it is not. So then what about the overall flight dynamics? Well, I spent quite a bit of time in just the simple Cessna 152 as well, just to see how this compares to the real Cessna that I fly, and I have to say that this default aircraft is far better than the default aircraft in Flight Sim 2020. I always felt the one in Flight Sim 2020 was rather overpowered, and you could do things in that you can't do in real life. This aircraft though felt much more realistic. I do think there was a slight issue when you've got full flaps out. You needed a lot of power to counteract that, more than you actually need on final descent in real life. But overall, yeah, the default aircraft, right from the Cessnas to the turboprops and even of course the large airliners, are really good. The fact we've also got the Inibuilds version 2, we've also got the A330, which is probably the best A330 available at the moment in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that obviously includes the Aerosoft rendition. But also don't forget, we've now got the Fenix aircraft working in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 as well. They call it the experimental version, but I've done quite a few flights with it, no CTDs, and everything has worked just as well as it did in Flight Sim 2020. So yep, I would say the aircraft are much improved in Flight Sim 2024. So what about the performance and FPS? Well, this is a little bit of a double-edged sword, for me anyway. So my performance and general FPS is very good. Even better in some instances than Flight Sim 2020. Of course, if you want to know what graphics settings I am using, check out the video that I posted earlier in the week showing my graphics settings so you can see exactly what it is I'm utilizing. But the problem comes for me again with streaming. The fact we have to stream all the aircraft as well as the scenery that we are flying over really affects the FPS. In fact, the performance of my sim was far better in the Fenix aircraft because that is stored locally on my hard drive. So I found Fenix aircraft to be better optimized in the sim at the moment than the default aircraft, which is crazy. Of course, it's perhaps not better optimization, but the fact that we're not having to stream that data in. When we will be able to download the stock aircraft onto the hard drives as well, like I have now with the Fenix, then we should see much improved performance. So yes, once again, streaming the major cause of FPS and performance errors for me. Let me know if that is something similar that you guys at home are seeing as well. Speaking of having things stored on the hard drive, of course, well, what about all our scenery from Flight Simulator 2020? Over the last 7 days, of course, we've had ample opportunity to move some of our airport scenery from our Flight Simulator 2020 community folders, drop them into the 2024 community folders, and see if they work. And do you know what? For the most time, they all do. I haven't really found any major issues or conflicts. I haven't had any crash to desktops using any 2020 scenery in Flight Simulator 2024. Again, let me know if you guys have or how you've found moving your old scenery across into the new sim. So again, this is a big tick for Flight Sim 2024 because it means I can have all my old scenery that we've got and that we've purchased in the new simulator, and it's working really well. Finally then, what about all of our mods and things that we like having in 2020 and are now available for Flight Sim 2024? I'm talking about things like VATSIM, of course, and model matching. All of that over the last 7 days has started to work with the new Flight Simulator. So if it was that you were waiting for, well, that has now arrived, and again, working very well. And we also have air traffic control programs like Beyond ATC, Say Intentions, also doing their stuff, working in the new Flight Simulator. The visuals overall, I really like things like leaving grass tracks on grass runways, stuff like that you can see here. Just nice, simple little touches, which once you've seen them, it's difficult to go back to Flight Sim 2020 where they're not there. Things like lots of animals running around beneath you as well. I know it is just fauna and not something that is imperative to the game, but in terms of immersion, it's really nice to see. We've also got the free LiDAR charts, which I spoke about earlier in the week, as well as the up-to-date AIRAC cycles. Really nice to have all on tap and integrated in the EFB that comes with the sim. My biggest bugbear at the moment with Flight Simulator 2024 is the controls and the key bindings. Oh my word, that has been over-engineered to the max, and it really does wind me up when we suddenly discover that something that previously worked in 2020 now has been assigned somewhere else, or there's a conflict somewhere, which means we veer off the runway. Check out my last live stream to see that happen on takeoff. All because someone in their right mind thought that my axis number 2 on my thrustmaster throttle quadrant should also be assigned to my brake pressure as well. So now over to you. I really do want to get your thoughts and feel what the community are thinking regarding Flight Sim 2024. Now it is a week old, the dust is settling, and we're actually finally starting to see the sim as it should have been. Is it enough yet to make you want to leave 2020 behind and stick with 2024 going forward, or are there things that you still are waiting for? If there are, let me know in the comments down below. What would it take before you would make the switch from the old simulator to the new simulator? Really looking forward to reading your thoughts and comments, and hopefully I've given you some insight into how I feel about the simulator 7 days on since it's released. I really do like it. Can I see myself using Flight Simulator 2020? I have gone back in and had a look at it, and it's really difficult because I do see things that are missing, which then on reflection make me want to go back to Flight Sim 2024. But as I said, looking forward to hearing your guys' comments down below. Thanks for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed the thoughts and this video. If you have, please don't forget to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell as well, so you don't miss any future videos and of course our live stream flights. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye bye for now.